Hello and welcome to another game review. This week, I couldn't find anything new to review, so I plunged into the depths of Steam and dug through all these school shooting and hentai games just so I can review something interesting, and I hope you all appreciate that. But luckily, I did actually manage to find something, and that is a puzzle game that is centered around cloning and taking places of those clones in the game The Swapper. At the start of the game, you wake up in space, not knowing anything. There is actually no direct story thrown at your face during a big part of the game. If anyone is interested in it, they will have to check every creepy whispering space rock around the ship or read all the logs that are all over the place. It is a good thing that they are actually highlighted, so that they are harder to miss. The main character is a mute, and the only other character didn't show up until the last 5 minutes, where she dumped a huge load of exposition all of a sudden, which made me take at least few minutes to actually process what happened. But even though the game lacks direct exposition during the most of the time, it is still amazing what it dishes out. It even made me think about the meaning of existence and what it makes us separate beings, and even a bit about what the soul could be. But I don't want to spoil anything, so I will talk about the gameplay now, which is actually quite simple at the outset. You have the titular swapper gun, which makes a clone of the main character, of which there can be maximum 4. And then you can use them to flip switches by placing them in important spots or swapping places with them. And another important mechanic is that they all move in tandem with you, which makes the placement of clones quite important. And another thing that bars your way are the lights. Certain lights stop you from switching places with clones, while others don't allow clones to be swapped to in the area which they illuminate. And it seems a bit simple, but some puzzles took me more than a few minutes to actually complete. The only downside to this is that the game is quite short. Even after exploring the majority of the ship to find as many rocks and logs, the game still took me less than 3 hours to complete. But looking at the achievement screen, I noticed that I missed at least half of the major plot logs, which in the end did not seem that important, since I got the story even without them, but I do think that they might have given me more insight into the lives of people on the space station and made me feel a bit more sympathetic towards them because of their demise, which it didn't manage in the first playthrough. And that leads me onto a problem with the game that I had. The replay value is almost non-existent. The puzzles that are in the game are always the same, and the only thing that might change the game is the last half a minute of it. And I would sooner recommend looking that up on YouTube than playing the whole game through again, unless you want to impress someone with your puzzle solving skills. So, to wrap this all up, The Swapper is quite a fun puzzle game, and even though it doesn't seem that long, the current price of $2.60 on Steam is quite appropriate for what the game brings to the table. But I do not think that the full price is worth it though. So if you want a cheap burst of fun, you could do much worse than getting Swapper. And as always, goodbye, and thanks for listening.